Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys how I use my rotation as a dueling Marauder and as well as PvP. Here's pretty much what I use for speccing. The reason I use Seeping Wound is pretty much for the slow, for the 50% slow rather than the crippling slash, as well as pulverize up here so that I'm able to hopefully refresh my cooldown for rupture. And that will slow down any mobile targets, and hopefully I'll be able to catch up to them, because as Annihilation you pretty much only have a limited amount of CCs, and one of them is Force Charge, Crippling Slash, but that costs 2 rage, where you can put in Seeping Wound, and that will pretty much help you slow them down for 50%. And as well as Force Choke, but you really don't do anything that amount of time that you using Force Choke. So pretty much this is my spec, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start my rotation. Alright, so you guys know that I didn't use my assault at all. I can keep up my rotation for a lot longer than that if I combine it with Force Camouflage. And the reason I don't use assault is because yes, it does build 2 rage. However, as you can see, my rotation is pretty much, it'll be able to kill at least 2 opponents just on that alone. And along with Force Camouflage and your cooldowns and your Obfuscate, you really don't need to put your time into assault as much, unless you're killing, you find yourself trying to kill like 6 different targets, and if you have a healer on you, then you probably need assault, because you're gonna outlast all your cooldowns. Because yes, you can keep it up, however what's gonna get you is Force Camouflage and Ravage is gonna be up at the same time, and you're gonna run out of rage, and Battering Assault will be up at the same time. And this, because it's a 1 minute cooldown, there's a very little chance that you're going to be able to cast this off before any of this, finish their cooldown. So yes, you might outlast all your all of your cooldowns, and it has happened, and it takes about, I don't know how long it takes for me to run out of things to cast, but it does take quite a while, so you don't really need to cast your assault as much. I have it on here just in case, and it's because it's my bread and butter for so long before I actually learned my rotation. So yeah, I still do have assault on here, so it's but yeah. So pretty much what you want to do is cast Force Charge, Deadly Saber, then Battering Assault, and then after you cast Rupture. And once you hit Rupture, I'm sure this will be up, so you want to hit Annihilate. And the reason I spec'd into Enrage, Charge, and Empowerment is because so I can build Rage. So you want to cast as much as possible. So then after you hit Annihilate, you're going to go ahead and hit either Force Choke or Ravage. Preferably, I would hit Ravage first, then Force Choke, because Choke will give you the 3 seconds necessary for this to have the cooldown, as well as this and as this. So, but the thing is that it's 1 minute, so I wouldn't choose the longer cooldown to cast over the Ravage, because this is going to give you the channel time, and it's going to pretty much wait for these 3 to cool down. So it's pretty much your bread and butter if you're out of options. So I would cast this before I cast my Force Choke, and by that time the opponent probably still have their bleed on. So I'm pretty sure once you hit your Force Choke on anybody but a tank, I'm sure they'll die. Unless they have heals on them, especially in a duel. Most likely you'll be able to get them with this just the force choke. However, there are other situations where they'll cast unleash and heal, but theoretically it should hit them for the 16k or whatever health that theoretically, okay, it should be able to kill them. But good as far as good players go, you might not be able to get them in the first rotation. So after that, I'm pretty sure that your force charge will be back. And once you hit your force charge, just hit your deadly saber, rupture, battering assault, and annihilate. That should all be back up by the time it's done. And once you cast that off, you can go into force camouflage, and then your ravish will be done. And then you can cast all your cooldowns, obfuscate, whatever. This is your bread and butter as a marauder, by the way. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Hope to see you guys in the next video.